I remember a Tuesday morning a few years ago that started exactly like thousands of other mornings, right up until the moment it almost became my last. I woke up feeling perfectly fine. There was no chest pain, no shortness of breath, no warning signs lingering in the dark. I threw the blankets off, swung my legs over the side of the mattress, and stood up fast, ready to march to the bathroom and get the day moving. In my generation, men took pride in hitting the ground running. But halfway across the bedroom floor, a wave of dizzy heat slammed into the back of my neck. The room tilted violently. My chest tightened like a heavy leather strap had been pulled across my ribs, and I had to grab the heavy oak dresser to keep my knees from giving out. Gloria woke up, saw the gray look on my face, and immediately brought out the blood pressure cuff. A few minutes later, the digital screen flashed 190 over 110. I was staring at a stroke level number, and I had not even put my shoes on yet. Most people wait for a scare before they change. That terrifying reading on the machine was my scare. I am going to tell you exactly why the first hour of the morning is the most dangerous window of time for your cardiovascular system. The hidden mechanical stress we put on our aging hearts just by getting out of bed the way we always have, and the precise 5-minute sequence I use every single morning to bring my numbers safely under my control. For decades, I believed that a strong, immediate start to the morning was a sign of discipline and vitality. I thought I was proving my strength by ignoring the stiffness in my joints and forcing my body into gear the second my eyes opened. It was my daughter Danielle, with her background in health and nutrition, who sat me down after that massive blood pressure spike and explained that my rigid discipline was acting like a daily poison to my heart. I had to unlearn a lifetime of habit and accept that my cardiovascular system was not a simple switch that could be flipped from off to full power in a matter of seconds. When I was supervising the public transit fleet back in Charlotte, our mechanics had an absolute rule about the heavy diesel buses on cold winter mornings. You never start a massive engine that has been sitting in a freezing yard all night and immediately floor the accelerator. The engine oil is thick and sitting down in the pan. The fluid lines are stiff. You have to let the vehicle idle. You have to let the internal pressure build gradually, so the lubrication can reach the vital moving parts before you ask the machine to pull a heavy load. The human body operates on the exact same mechanical principle, but we rarely treat it with the same respect. While you sleep, your body is essentially parked in the yard. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure drops, and your nervous system is quiet. But about an hour before you even open your eyes, your body starts dumping stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream to prepare you for waking up. It is the biological equivalent of revving an engine that has no oil circulating yet. The pressure starts surging, your blood vessels begin to constrict, and your heart takes the full force of that hormonal shock before you are even conscious. You do not want your first real warning to be an emergency, but every morning we walk right to the edge of one. If you add sudden, violent movement to that chemical surge, you are practically asking for a breakdown. I used to stand up from the mattress in 2 seconds flat. When you are lying horizontal for 8 hours, your blood is distributed evenly throughout your body. The second you stand up quickly, gravity violently pulls a massive volume of that blood downward toward your legs and abdomen. Your aging heart panics because the blood pressure to your brain drops, so it aggressively spikes your heart rate and tightens your vessels to compensate. That sudden overcorrection is called orthostatic hypotension, and it is exactly what caused my massive blood pressure spike and almost sent me crashing to the floor. I was asking a stiff cardiovascular system to perform a high-speed maneuver without any warm-up. The friction in the system gets even worse when you look at the fluids running through the lines. After 7 or 8 hours of sleeping and breathing, you wake up mildly dehydrated every single morning. There are no exceptions to this. For years, I used to wake up, get dressed, walk around the house, and wait at least an hour before I had my first glass of water with breakfast. During that entire morning routine, my blood was measurably thicker and more viscous than it was the night before. Any mechanic will tell you that a pump has to work twice as hard to push thick sludge through stiff pipes as it does to push clean water. That thick blood does not just exhaust the heart muscle, it clots far more easily. That is exactly why so many devastating heart attacks and strokes cluster heavily between 6 and 10 in the morning. It is the perfect storm of a hormone surge, thick blood, and stiff arterial walls, all hitting the heart at the exact same moment. I used to see guys my age trying the cold shower trends because they read somewhere that it built mental toughness. I even tried it a few times myself. I stepped into a freezing shower first thing in the morning and immediately felt my chest seize up and my breath vanish. What I did not realize was that the sudden cold shock forces the blood vessels near your skin to violently constrict in order to protect your core temperature. That sends your blood pressure shooting up another 20 or 30 points in a matter of seconds. For a man over 60 who might have some vulnerable plaque quietly sitting in his arteries, that sudden pressure spike is enough to crack the plaque and trigger a catastrophic clot right there in the bathroom. I thought I was testing my resilience, but I was just putting my coronary arteries under an unbearable load. My son Marcus is the one who reminded me to look at everything else I was putting into the system. I was taking a daily diuretic, a water pill to help manage my baseline blood pressure. It did the job, but it was also quietly flushing the magnesium straight out of my kidneys. Magnesium is the mineral that regulates the electrical signals keeping your heartbeat steady. Without enough of it, the heart becomes electrically unstable, leading to erratic palpitations and skipped beats that hit hardest during that morning stress window. I had to learn to ask my doctor to check those specific mineral levels, because the numbers matter, but the patterns behind them matter more. I even had to change the way I approach my morning exercise. I used to lace up my shoes and head out for a fast, heavy power walk the moment I got out of bed. But putting intense physical exertion on top of high cortisol, thick blood, and constricted vessels is a dangerous game. It is asking the engine to deliver dramatically more blood to the muscles while the pipes are still choked off. Now, I give my body at least 30 minutes to wake up and stabilize before I do anything strenuous. I walk slowly before I increase my pace. I let the system adjust. Once I saw the full picture of what I was doing to myself every morning, I stopped negotiating with my pride. Control begins with what you stop normalizing. I built a strict 5-minute protocol that I follow every single day without fail. When my alarm goes off and my eyes open, I do not move a single muscle. I lie perfectly still on the mattress and take 3 slow, deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. That simple act sends a signal to the calming branch of my nervous system, actively pushing back against the morning cortisol spike. Next, I reach over to my nightstand where I keep a tall glass of room temperature water. Before my feet ever touch the floor, I drink the entire glass. I do this to instantly begin thinning my blood, reducing the clotting risk, and giving my cardiovascular pump the fluid it needs to operate smoothly. Then, I slowly roll to my side and push myself up so I am sitting on the edge of the bed. I do not stand up. I sit there for a full minute, letting my legs hang over the side. I slowly rotate my ankles in circles, activating the muscles in my calves to gently pump the pooled blood back up toward my chest. I let my blood pressure naturally find its footing. Only after my body has fully registered being upright do I place both feet flat on the floor. I press up through my legs at half my normal speed. Once I am fully standing, I remain completely still for 10 seconds before I take my first step toward the door. A stable life builds a stable body, and that stability requires patience. Pressure rarely goes up alone. It rises with the habits we ignore. I have not had a dizzy spell or a terrifying blood pressure reading in the morning since I stopped treating my body like a machine that could be rushed. I am sitting here right now, with the sun fully up, finishing my second glass of water, and feeling a steady, effortless rhythm in my chest. The heart pays attention to what we repeat every day. It has been doing the heavy lifting for me for over 7 decades without ever asking for a break. Giving it 5 minutes of grace every morning is the easiest and most important trade I have ever made.